How's it going, folks? Welcome to Gamer Logic. The first episode of it is available on unleadedlogic.com and a couple different websites, hopefully. You'll be seeing this on iTunes and all the regular syndicated podcast stuff. What we're trying to do, I know there's been confusion about what sites we belong to. Do we belong to the Xbox Collector? Do we belong to VGPop.com? A whole bunch of different sites I've done work for in the past, and my videos have kind of been posted all over for. To be absolutely honest with you, I don't know where we reside. We may just end up residing on unleadedlogic.com. A couple of those previous sites I mentioned are kind of on hold. They're being redeveloped. And there's some more websites that are talking to me about picking me up. They really have no idea what's going on, and that's fine. So in the meantime, I am going to keep what I do, my videos and all that, known as Gamer Logic. And it'll be available no matter what on unleadedlogic.com and on YouTube. And if someone picks me up, then we'll throw their associated graphic in the beginning of the video, and bam, there we go. It'll be Gamer Logic with association with whoever it may be that picks us up or decides that they're going forth with their site. So anyways, let's get into the basis of what this episode is going to cover. I'm a big game collector. I collect everything from retro Atari games, Atari 2600, to the Nintendo generation, regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, stuff like that. And I've amassed a pretty big collection of them over the last few years. Now, I actually had a ton of these when I was a kid, and so did my little brother. And when me and my wife moved in together and got our first place here, I packed all my old games away because I figured, if I want to play them, I'll get an emulator or whatever. I'm not going to waste my time digging those old systems out. Well, last summer I got into a new hobby, and that was getting back into retro games, and before you knew it, I had almost all the Atari games, Nintendo games, Super Nintendo. I have a lot of games. As of recording this, I have about 657 original games. It's not duplicates. Those are original single games. And they range from about 15 to 16 different systems from, like I said, Atari 2600 to PS3. Well, you get to a point, and this goes with any of it, baseball cards, stamps, coin collecting, music, comic books, and the list goes on and on. You need a way to keep track of this stuff, because God forbid if anything happened to my place, or someone broke into this place, or for whatever reason, I would have no idea what games I had. I mean, I have a general idea if I look through a list of what I have, but I'm sure I would forget something. So today's review is covering, it's actually called Game Collector from collectors.com, and what it actually is, it's a database of games, essentially, that you can pull up from your own collection. You can add games manually, automatically. It'll search a database, it'll give you covers and everything, and you can do it by system, all the way from, like I said, the old school systems to the current systems, and it's an awesome way of tracking your stuff. And I got into this program because I was looking at a way to database my games, and this by far, because I've tried a couple of different ones, is by far the best. Can be organized well, and it gives you a couple different options. It's available in a few different versions. So I'm going to go ahead and try a video screen capture of my screen from another program. I don't know how it's going to turn out. My preliminary test kind of looked stupid, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. If not, I'll have to do a reshoot, or I'll answer your questions, but hopefully I can demonstrate the point of this program because it's really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get into the video section of this where I demonstrate it, and I hope you'll keep checking out the Gamer Logic episodes. So here we go. So this is kind of the first screen you'll walk into when you're actually using Game Collector. This is, of course, from collectors.com. You can check out a free trial of it by going to collectors.com, as well as a few of their different other apps that they have available. But let's focus at the task at hand here. This may be a little tough to see, but you can get the general idea from it. What you're looking at here is actually my entire collection. Right now I am looking at 3DO games, Atari games, and they're all broken out by platform. And in each platform, of course, you'll see the games I have listed for it that are currently in my collection. Now, this covers pretty much everything. All 16 systems that I have, it does in fact have, and even systems I don't have, like Commodore or a variety of other systems that are available out there, it's in here. You can actually add accessories to the systems and anything else you want through the Easy Add application that's on this. Now we are going to go ahead and show off the different ways you can actually display it. Right now, I have it in icon mode, which you can actually see thumbnails of your entire collection if the cover is available on the database. Now, if it's not, you can actually add it one yourself through a scan or whatever you wish to do. So this is my Nintendo collection. You see I got some classics here. All the Castlevanias, Bionic Commando, Contra, Zelda. You name it, I probably have it. And this is a nice way to kind of see the box art for stuff. Or in case, I don't remember what Nintendo games I have, let's go through the covers, let's see what I got. It's kind of a cool way of checking out your collection rather than having to go up to the actual collection itself. And like my games are face down, so you can only see the label. You get a better idea of what you're seeing. Current stuff, of course, it has. Like here's my Xbox 360 collection, all broken down in the thumbnails. Now on the bottom portion of the screen here, if it's available, it'll actually give you a description of the game. How many discs it was, what year it came out, additional details. You can also put personal details in to say whose part of the collection it is if you have siblings, and a couple other things. Okay, but let's break it down into actually getting a game put into this thing. Now, in order to do that, you're going to go to Add Game Automatically, and this is going to connect to the database to find a title. Now, I will fill in a title name right underneath the title bar, and as you see, I have TurboGrafx 16 selected, but if it happens to ping a certain amount of searches, then it'll pick that up as well. So I went ahead and put my title in. A couple things came up, nothing under TurboGrafx 16, which isn't a problem. So we're going to go ahead and scroll ahead here and see what system it is we're looking for. So for a fun example, let's say I bought Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge. Now I have a Genesis copy, and as it turns out, I already have a Super Nintendo copy of this, which, God forbid, you have two horrible versions of such a horrible game. Now, this won't cover the fact if you have one for one system. For example, I have one for Genesis. If I add one for Super Nintendo, it's not going to say that I have the same game in the database, but had I bought two SNES versions of it, it would have popped up saying, hey, this is already in your database. Are you sure you want to add this crappy game again to your collection? And in which case you can tell it yes or no. So had I looked at my collection on the database here before I actually went out and bought anything, I would have known to avoid such a crappy game. Now, for the record, the reason I have this game is, one, because my friend gave it to me, which, thank you very much. As much of a crappy game it is, it's still fun to have. And two, this came in an eBay auction with a load of Genesis stuff, so I didn't actually purposely go out and buy two copies of a crappy game.